Hey team, happy Friday. I wanted to do our weekly check-in and share a couple of exciting things with you today. So the first and most exciting thing that I've heard this week is an idea that some of our upper level team members had, and it actually addresses a concern we've been having, which is we're having resort clients challenging our pickup times by calling and requesting later pickups. And although it's something that we've so far been able to accommodate, we can tell that with our after hours hospital services, it's going to become a challenge if the volume increases. So we actually ordered some really neat collapsible kennels that are the same style as our dog condos at our pet resort that we'll hopefully be able to position in the lobby. They're collapsible, meaning that they fold flat against the wall, but then they expand out to be one of our regular Mason style kennels, probably most similar to our yellow condos that are in the back area of the resort for dogs. So how that would work imaginably so far would be we would expand those at the end of the day. Any clients that called and pre-arranged an after-hours pickup, their pet would be moved there after the resort closes. And then when the client comes in, they would check out at the hospital and just be pointed to the resort lobby where they could go and be united with their pet. And seemingly we wouldn't have to have a team member for that interaction. We could do the same thing with cats in smaller cat carriers that the owners left behind so they could just pick up their pet and go. So I'm really excited to see how that comes together, and we'll share updates as we get closer to receiving those and installing them. But we've so far started the ordering process of those. I'm really excited to see it come together again. Also, I sent out a video earlier this week about how we accept coupons and said that I would further clarify when things fall into place. So far, the only coupons that we've added have been our LGMC, which is the Lafayette General Medical Care Group, and we have added some coupons for those. So I'll make those available as an image in Slack so you can see what they look like. You can see the code. Again, I added a little memo part on the physical coupon that those employees are going to receive, which will probably be sent out in the next 2 weeks to those employees of Lafayette General. I actually put the Avamark code on the physical coupon so that when you receive it, it says coupon code, and then you could look to match that for an Avamark to receive their discount. Again, just to give you the gist of that video and recap there is no employee discount for Lafayette General employees. What they will receive is this specific coupon that goes out to their group, and I'll keep you posted if anything more about that changes. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to post a video from Dr. Andy about our resort services, and just wanted to again encourage everybody to remember to give resort tours as frequently as possible. This is something that we've noticed a huge decline on, and it's very, very important to remember to offer those. And the way that this can work is when a client comes in and they're waiting in the hospital lobby to be seen, we take that time, the lobby attendant especially, to offer them a tour of our resort. And nurses, if you have extra time with a client, you can arrange this or you can do this yourself. Resort team members certainly can offer those tours. And I have a special prize for anybody that we can catch doing good jobs with that. So make sure you make it a point to work that into your routine again. I also wanted to share about Family Adventure Day. If you've participated in Family Adventure Day in the past, you know that it's fun and it's also a lot of work and has come with some challenges. If you haven't, I'll give you the background on it real quick. Family Adventure Day is a day of adventures for families that's hosted by a community project here in Lafayette called The Healing House. The Healing House offers bereavement services to young people and children who have maybe lost a family member and need guidance and counseling through the grieving process and even after. and they offer these services complimentary. So they do a lot of fundraising so they can keep their house and their center open. And for 4 years now, we've participated annually in Family Adventure Day. They sell maps and challenge families who choose to participate to have as many fun adventures as a family in one day that they can. So for the past 4 years since we've been participating, we've been voted the #1 location, and we bring the fun. So I'm really, really proud of our team for doing that and want to try and keep up the tradition. But last year we had the most families come and visit. We had over 500 families come through our location in 5 hours, and it was really challenging. And I can imagine now, especially with our expansion of hours, that it's going to be all the more challenging to keep doing that. So we've decided to still offer our same services and go off-site with them so that our hospital can operate that day in our resort, and we can still participate in Family Adventure Day. So we've partnered with the Bayou Church, and we're going to have our event outside in a tent behind their church. They've got a lot of extra property. They've got restrooms available. They've got electricity for us. So we'll just be having an off-site Family Adventure Day location. I'm urging you now to try and decide if you can help us participate. We really cannot do it without you. I'm trying to start organizing volunteers, and what I'd ask you to do is save the date on your calendar so that you don't plan anything and have the conflicts that we've faced in the past when we've been understaffed of our team volunteers. So that date is March 10th. It's a Saturday. We're going to have our portion of the event from noon to 5, and we'll provide lunch and refreshments for all of our volunteers, and we're really starting to get things organized now. In the upcoming weeks, I'll probably have just a little volunteer coordination meeting to see if anybody has any fresh ideas, if they want to kind of chair a portion of the event. But for now, I'm just asking you to save the date so that if you know you want to commit, you can, and we can arrange staffing for working team members that day as well. So March 10th, save the date. Next, I wanted to talk about our on-call schedule that I had mentioned last week. What we're doing with this is we're having managers be on call and available to receive phone calls for you if you're going to miss a shift, if you're having a problem at work when there's no manager physically in the building, if you need permission for something, or if you have a challenge that you can't work through. Those would be the things that you would reach people for. So we're going to have somebody every day for you to call into, kind of like a point person. And those people are going to be Danielle, Drew Ploche, Beryl, Eileen, and Melinda and I will help as needed as well. But what we're asking you to do is, when you have a need for these people, look in shift planning, determine who's assigned for that day. So to do that, you would go into shift planning. They've got their own position, so you can choose them through your shift planning app or desktop by clicking on the shift planning and then choosing the manager on call, and depending on who shows up that day, you can just click on their name to call them and know that that's your point person. So they'll have days of the week that are assigned to them, and they will have weekends that are assigned to them too. Their shifts go from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. So depending on what the actual calendar date is, you look at that calendar date and go from there. Again, shift planning, manager on call, that's who you start calling. That dynamic is changing from me being the point person who's always called. I might actually miss that sometimes, and I'm happy to help you, but as far as scheduling and immediate needs, those are people that you would call first. If you're hurt on the job and there's no manager here, you call that person. If you need to call out sick for your shift, or if you're going to be late to work, you call that person. Again, if you're having a challenge with your working situation, you call that person, and they'll be prepared to help you, or at least direct you to the most immediate resource that you need. Next on my list, I wanted to remind everybody about praise in Slack. You do that in whichever channel you're choosing, and then you do your hashtag of that channel /praise, and you should see some little hands come up to where you would be praising that person. By nominating an individual, I've loved the praise that we've seen for groups of people, and sometimes it is a group effort, and I don't want to ignore that. But if you see a particular individual having praise that you want to deliver in shift planning, or in Slack, just remember that that is what qualifies them to go in the bucket to be chosen for Employee of the Month. And so far in November, we didn't have any. We're really heating things up in Slack and using and relying on it a lot more, but we haven't had any so far in December for any individual. So if there is anything that you can share that you want to give a particular shout out to, like we used to do with kudos or well done or give them a pickle, this is what's replacing that praise. Again, everybody who's praised gets chosen for Employee of the Month, and then all those Employee of the Months will make up how we choose Team Member of the Year in the future. So it's really, really important to acknowledge core values, particular great actions or reactions, how somebody maybe handled a client situation in a particularly great way. Anything that you can put there is going to be helpful. And we're watching, so make sure that you start doing that immediately. Also, I wanted to really talk about peer reviews. These have been something that we have started, again, handing out in the past week, and have noticed that they've been a little bit slow to return and that we haven't been getting all of them back. Y'all, this is so incredibly important. Sharing is caring here when you do that. So make sure that if you get the peer review that you not only complete it, but include any details that you can, and then turn it in on the time that it's noted in the top right-hand corner to be returned. That is how we give the most detail in an employee evaluation. And it is very, very important for those people's performance and to enhance their performance to get those reviews back, and then certainly to reward when things are going really, really well for someone. And I know that when it's your turn to get an evaluation, you'll really appreciate your peers' feedback for you, because we're all setting each other up for success here. So again, sharing is caring. If you do that, it'll come back to you tenfold. I promise that. My last announcement is that this week, Dawn has started inventorying all of our print items that we get from Vistaprint. So just think of these items as anything that comes custom printed paper or plastic products with our logo on it. So business cards, return address labels, prescription pads, all those types of items are now in inventory and can be added directly to the needs list, so you don't have to type those in anymore. And they're going to be inventoried so that you can take them out when you use them by package. And then certainly we can chart to track them by order point. So anytime that we start something new like that, there's a little learning curve. If you're not sure, make sure that you ask her how to take those out, but it should be really simple with an inventory, and you can take them out of hospital use products. And maybe we'll be able to barcode them in the future when we get our new scanners in about a week or two. So stay tuned for more information on that. We've had a great week. I can't wait to give another update next week, and I hope that you have a great weekend.
Hey everybody, I'm stealing a couple of minutes of Allison's time to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. It has been for about 22 years or so, and it's the resort. Never in the history of LVCC have we had a decline in the numbers of the resort. So this year we've experienced an 8% decline in boarding, which is pretty significant. The resort is a huge part of our company, and it's something that people look forward to be able to know that their pet is well taken care of. And it just seems like there's a boarding facility opening up once a week on every corner in Lafayette. And competition is good for everybody, but we have to be able to respond to that. And honestly, I think that no matter what boarding facility is there, hands down, we have them beat, because we have 24-hour care with a doctor on staff, 24 hours a day, so their pet is monitored incredibly well. We have an amazing resort staff that is so well trained and can take care of most everything. They've seen it all, they've been there and they've done that, so we got it hands down. Our facility is amazing. It's very safe, it's climate controlled. So I think what I want to focus on, we tend to forget that we have a resort when we're on the hospital side. with all the new clients and all the new services that we're offering, I think we're missing a golden opportunity to get folks to know that we have a resort. It's amazing when you talk to people, it's like, oh, I didn't even know this was on this side. So my challenge is for the next year is to make sure that we at least tell people that we have a boarding facility that can accommodate all of their needs. We're going to actually have after hours pickup here pretty soon. So whatever they need, we can provide in a very, very safe environment. No other facility in town, no one has a veterinary supervised boarding facility, and to me that's huge. If I was leaving my pet somewhere, I'd want to know that that's available. So we're going to be talking more about this, and hopefully that we can get those numbers back up to plus 8% instead of minus, and look forward to some more conversations later. We're probably going to have some incentives too. Thanks.